Hey guys, it's Robin. Thanks for tuning in. So I hope everyone is doing well. I am doing pretty good, and I have had a very long day today at work. So I'm a little bit tired. So yeah, I may say things that sound silly. We'll just see what happens. First of all, since last we had a chat on these Wednesdays, I've posted some videos on YouTube. I actually did a cast of professional players, Liquid Huck and TSL Curious, and he played Zerg. Huck plays Protoss. Check that cast out. It is an awesome game. So much going on in that game. It's a long game. It's like 30 minutes, so it's in 3 parts. So I know what I say about long videos, but totally stick it out because it's worth it. So check that out. It is on this very channel that you are watching. Also, I did a review of Harry Potter. And Deathly Hallows Part 2. I don't want to give away too much because I want you to go watch the review. But I liked it. Wasn't my favorite Harry Potter movie necessarily, but still really good. So check that review out and check that film out because that film is... It'd be interesting to see what happens with that film in box offices. I'm very interested to see what happens there. Another film this Friday that I'm interested in, of course, is Captain America. Captain America comes out 22nd, I believe. If you don't know a lot about Captain America, essentially he is an American soldier during World War II who's given a super sort of formula that makes him crazy strong, and he fights on the American side. And he gets brought into today because during the war he falls into some ice and his body's kind of perfectly preserved, and they kind of wake him up in modern times and he becomes part of the Avengers. So that's what Captain America is all about. That's coming out. I am totally going to see that probably even Friday night. We'll have a review out for it not too long later. Speaking of Captain America, and speaking of my ongoing series, I didn't actually speak about that, but whatever. My ongoing series about favorite villains and favorite supervillains. And number 4 on my favorite heroes list is, of course, the man himself, Captain America. I know you've seen this shirt before. It was a while back, and I thought, what a better time to bring it out than the movie coming out. And, of course, he is number 4 on my list. And between you and me, purely coincidence that the movie came out the week that I did him as number 4. I did not plan it that way, but, well, it worked out perfectly. So that's awesome. And I really enjoy that. So why Captain America? First of all, I think he really represents the use of history and comic books and reflection of geopolitical situations and how comic books reflect them. So Captain America, you know, he's all-American. He has these very American ideals, particularly these very sort of 1940s American ideals about justice and all these things that we think of when we think of America, at least within sort of a constitutional sense, a revolutionary America sense. He really embodies those kind of things. And we see throughout history, particularly in the 20th century, comic books and their villains reflect the times that they're fighting in. So, for example, the Fantastic Four, who were created in, I guess, in with that group of the 50s kind of comic book characters, although the Human Torch goes further back, but whatever. Their villain is Dr. Doom, of course, who was a Eastern European, villain. So again, we see this kind of connection to the geopolitical situations. As you move through history, the villains change, and terrorism, in a post 9/11 world, becomes the main sort of focus of villains and the fear of terrorism and terrorist organizations. And we see, Hydra being a terrorist organization, for example. So Captain America, to me, is kind of one of those, a pinnacle, a perfect representation of that. Although he's not the only one, he's certainly one of them. Obviously, the shield's really cool. It's very interesting that it's a defensive weapon as well as it can be used for an offensive weapon. So that's something that's kind of a little more unique than, say, some of the other characters. Very indicative of Captain America. Again, I kind of like the idea of the all-American hero, what that stands for. And also it's very interesting because at that time, that was popular. That was the idea that was portrayed in society. Today, although America would like to believe that's what's portrayed, that isn't necessarily what the American dream kind of still stands for. I mean, besides that, I'm a huge World War II fan. You can probably actually see some of my World War II propaganda posters back there. Maybe one time I'll bring my camera over and you can check them out because they're awesome. So I like World War II. I like that sort of propaganda type thing. I mean, I like Steve Rogers as a leader. The whole thing, the whole Red Skull, I think is a great villain. I think I mentioned before that he probably would be number 6 if I was doing like a top 6 villains. I'd probably have the Red Skull as number 6. Yeah, so overall, these ideas, these connections to history, his shield, which is really cool, super soldier formula, his leadership, the way he kind of pulled the Avengers together, this contrast of 1940s in with the modern day and how he reacts as a hero. as they also have been mentioning just in the Captain America trailers and stuff, Captain America in some ways is the first sort of human who is super. I mean, of course, we had Superman before, and he had superpowers, but he was an alien. Captain America is really one of the first ones, you know, I mean, there's Batman, but he doesn't have any superpowers, who truly is a superhuman, you know. So that's very unique, too. Long history, so that's why I picked Captain America as number 4 on my list, and why I'm very excited to see the film and see how it connects, all leading up to the Avengers, which, of course, is written by, or produced by Joss Whedon, who is one of my favorites. And for those of you who can't wait for the Avengers, I know at Comic-Con they showed sort of a very brief trailer, and I know there's some kind of bad versions of it surfing the net. Maybe look one of those up. I heard you don't really see too much. I've actually had a chance to check it out yet myself, but if you want to go see that, from what I've heard, what you see there is better than what you see in the Batman teaser trailer, which is essentially nothing. So look for that Avengers one for sure. Speaking of Batman, another great tie-in. This time I actually am speaking of Batman. A couple weeks back I did my question about which is your favorite Batman graphic novel collection, and I listed off, you know, Year One, Dark Knight Returns, etc., etc., etc. For me, my favorite is Batman Killer Joke. That is the one by Alan Moore. He is, of course, of Watchmen and V for Vendetta fame. And this is a possible origin story of the Joker. It's very interesting. It paints the Joker, at least in his pre-kind of Joker days, as being, you know, a very sympathetic character, someone you could totally relate to. So I would say that is my favorite work of Batman. Check that out for sure. If there's one Batman thing you pick up Killer Joke. And yeah, that's that. So until I see you next week, or maybe talk to you from the Captain America review. So say